to talk about. We're talking about principle number 4, probably my favorite principle. It's probably one of the most important principles overall, and it's red ball decisions can't wait. This is you when you start out in life. Where you end up in life, let's say this is when you can actually start making some decisions at 18. Your pathway here can be one of many. This is where you want to be in life, right? This is like your, let's say 10 out of 10 in life. This is your 8 out of 10. And this is 3 out of 10. This journey to get here, let's say in your personal life and in business, is a series of decisions to get here, right? Those inflection points, those decisions, if you don't identify them as a red ball, right, then you won't apply the correct thinking to them. And because you didn't identify them as a red ball and apply the correct thinking to them, you're going to make the wrong decision and they're going to have a meaningful effect on your life. That is a red ball decision. Have you ever felt when you're trying to make a decision that you just want the decision or an answer straight away? Like your brain doesn't like to not have the answer. Have you all felt that? And so you have to be careful when these red balls come along that you don't apply the same filter that you do to every other decision. That's why you have to identify red balls. So how do you identify red ball decisions? And then what do you do with them? So first of all, how do you identify them in your life or in business or anywhere? Is you have to have an aim. Because you can't know that something is important unless you know what it's important for. So this is what's so critical to life, please. This is the right at the crux of it. If you don't have an aim, you don't know what decisions are important. And so you make bad decisions because you don't know which are going to matter and which are not. All right, the last part of red balls, if we just understand them, is you have to know what you're aiming at so that your brain picks up on the problems, so it'll know what is a red ball. The last one is how do you solve them with mental models? And I've talked about mental models a lot. Many of these things are mental models.
It was one that was very close to my heart, and I think it was quite easy and comfortable to talk about. This fourth one, the red balls, is obviously for me going through this journey of scale and growing. It probably gives me the most anxiety and the most fear, just because of the profound impact these decisions have on where we end up. Now, we've obviously set very high ambitions for the studio or for the company, and just as you, Brennan, and I understanding that we need to embrace these red ball decisions along the way because they are part of the journey. But what scares me as we scale is, the more we scale, the more these decisions come our way and the big impact they have on where we're going to end up. And it's kind of having that trust in you guys to obviously help identify them early, and then how we deal with them, I think, really then defines who we become. So please, we need a lot of that from you, because it's the only way we're going to get better. Thank you.